Howdy, Tom.
Mm, mm.
What is that you're
What's up,
drinking?
buddy? Well, you know how there's Lent for us good Catholics, and my dumbass decided to do the same thing I did again last year for Lent, and it is no alcohol of any kind.
For the
So,
record, there's no us in this conversation. I've given up things for Lent a long time ago.
but well, technically, you're doing Lent. If you're giving up Lent on Lent, that's a gift.
Yeah, but I give it up forever.
Hey, because you're a dedicated Catholic, because you're dedicated to the cause. No, because I can't drink alcohol for 40 days, bless you. I am drinking a cocktail that my wife happily made up. It is OJ and iced tea. She calls it a dirty Palmer.
Is it what is it? What's in it?
Orange juice and
There's
iced tea. Just
just
orange
no.
juice and iced tea.
Oh,
So
okay.
she calls it a dirty Palmer.
So it's a dry drink.
It's a mocktail.
Mhm.
But I like the dirty.
That sounds tasty, actually.
It's my second glass, dude. It's fucking amazing. Oh my God.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
You know how good it is? I don't even have it on ice. That's how good it is.
Yeah.
But anyway, how are you today, buddy? For our, am I wrong? Is this our first really exclusive Patreon episode?
Um, it's the first one we're recording for that purpose, not just something we had lying around. Yeah, this one, well, how am I doing? That's the question that you asked me. I was doing better until this morning.
Oh,
When I saw well, just to back up, the purpose of this episode that we pre-planned before current events happened, we wanted to like you wanted to talk about a bunch of international stuff like the drug cartel guy that got marked, Pakistan and Afghanistan are going at it, and other things, and we were talking about like, yeah, there's a big standoff happening in Iran, and then I look at my phone, and not only, yeah, we dropped bombs on Iran, but we also fucking killed their leader. We're
yep,
recording this the Saturday this happened. So
yes.
I don't know if anything's going to change by the time this airs.
This all happened 10 p.m. Friday the 27th. This all
Oh,
happened at Pacific Standard Time. Sorry, Pacific Standard Time for us because we're Californians. This was all happening at around 10:15ish in the evening. I stayed up from 10 to 2 a.m. watching this shit. So,
I think
to,
I had my phone in the other. I think I put my phone away because I usually go to bed at 11-ish with Denise because like she's got to get up early,
yeah,
and I think we because we usually watched something on TV before then. It was definitely not the news. And I think I just had my phone in the bedroom and said, ah, fuck it.
yep.
So I missed out on all of this.
But, ladies and gentlemen, we'll get to the joyous news from Iran in a bit. We're going to start off, though, like Travis said, that I wanted to do, and we had
We're gonna
planned.
start off by looking at my dog because he wants
Yes,
attention.
it's the
And
tot. And he says he's
yeah,
special. He's a special boy. I'm
yeah.
special. Hi, Tater
Mm.
Tot. But yeah, so we will get to Iran in a second, folks. In a bit, I should say. We're going to talk about international news that we had planned Monday, which is funny how we all have this planned Monday and look where we're at. But
Hmm.
let's just start off on a fun note before we get serious. Would you like that, Travis? I would.
Is it fun?
This first part is the first part's
Okay.
fun. As of today, because today is the 28th, the last day, because it's not a leap year, the last day of February, the Olympics have been over for a little
Oh,
over,
okay.
for about a week, a little six,
Hmm.
about 6 days. The Olympics are over. The Winter Olympics in Italy, and the U.S. was able to bring home 33 medals in total. I wrote some stuff, folks. So you're going to hear, look
Oh,
at, see me kind of look off of the camera, but those who are on YouTube. But yeah, so the U.S. Brought home 33 medals. I have a lot of this stuff written on paper. 12 of them are gold. 12 of them are silver. Nine are bronze.
okay. Okay, that's
We
good.
are we are second place in overall medals. Norway took it all for the number one, 18 gold, 12 silver, 11 bronze, making it a total of 41 medals for Norway, which makes sense because literally the Winter Olympics is just the Norwegians' playground. They're just dominating, honestly. I
Yep.
mean, yes, we women and men's won hockey gold. That's cool. We got
Yeah.
we got bronze in the bobsled, the two man bobsled, the women's bronze. The Germans win the bobsled all the time. The bobsledding and skeleton bobsled and the luge are just the German sports, and they were kicking ass.
Those are my
Wow.
favorite ones to watch, all honesty.
Yeah,
It's
it's so
just
fun. Don't you want to go down there, like just to
you,
like,
you know what
hey,
it looks like to me? It looks like to me like Hot Wheels tracks.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It
Like
is.
gravity is just doing all the work and these little cars are just
Mhm.
flying around. That's what it reminds me of, and that's why I think I like to watch those a lot.
The two-man bobsled for women's, Germany went home with gold and silver for that. Like they just kicked ass. We were going to get gold, and then they showed up. I watched a few other sports, I mean events, as probably you did. I didn't watch much figure skating this time. I heard there was some surprising upsets. Curling was great to watch. I love curling. That was always fun to watch. And then there was, oh, the biathlon. It was awesome. Oh my God, they're just skiing. They're like just skiing for so long. It's just insane.
Yeah.
So that was the Olympics.
Yeah.
And on a funny note, I don't know if you heard about this. In the first 3 days of the Olympics, because it's a 2 week event, 10,000 condoms were distributed.
Yeah.
I think, I
Yeah.
think this
Getting on in
year,
the Olympic Village.
oh yeah, I think this Olympics compared to the previous ones for summer and winter really showed that no, during the 2 weeks, the Olympiads are like fucking each other like crazy. Like it's a full on just free for all orgy, grab ass, everything. There's a joke of this one girl. I think she was one of the figure skaters. I don't know, but she was asked, "Hey, this is your first time here, 18, how's it going?" And she had that glow about her of like, "Oh, she got taken care of." She had
Hmm.
that she had that glow of like, "I've been having too much fun with my fellow athletes." That girl looked like she had a good time. But yeah, so that was the funny thing in the Olympics. People are realizing that just, yeah, the Olympiads are just fucking. Like the condoms are just being used up like crazy because it's like what, almost 1,000 people or over 1,000 people in the best shape of all time, just having fun with each other.
It's funny with the Olympics. So like at my job, the office had like they had like for lunch earlier this week we had like a like soul food catering basically,
Ooh.
and on top of that, someone organized like a Black History trivia game with the award being a $25 gift card to Amazon, and I ended up winning the trivia game. And mind you, I'm not going to say where I work or what kind of place I work at, but let's just say I work around people that have more advanced degrees than I do. And I got I was the only one that got 9 of the 10 questions correct. But the one question that I got wrong, or rather I couldn't answer, was what were the names of the two men that did the Black Power
Oh,
symbol at the 68 Olympics? I know the image. I know, like, that image
you
is
just couldn't
burned into
name
my
them.
brain, but I didn't know their names. Shout out to Tommy Smith and John Carlos, um, who are still alive, by the way. They're still around to this day. But yes. But yeah, no, like, yeah, like, I mean, one of the questions was like, who was the first Black Supreme Court justice? And a lot of people are like, I don't know. It was like Thurgood Marshall. Like, you people, I learned this in high school. And
You're
granted, high school was only 12 years ago for me, but
still.
it's not a lot of these guys are older than me, but still, it's like, come on, guys. Or yeah, or like the one which to me made perfect sense. The question was just what was the number one album of 1982? And I'm like, okay, this is Black history. It's going to be a Black person. Early 80s, Michael Jackson, Thriller. Like to me, the line was very clear. It's Thriller by Michael Jackson. But some
It's
people
pretty.
didn't know that. Some people didn't put that together. It's like, I know when Thriller came out. I knew, and I wasn't even alive back then, but I knew that was like, I
The
mean, that
thing
is like the Michael Jackson album. That's like the record of his.
that's probably
And
in the
now
top
it's a
10
Halloween
records.
classic.
You could argue that's probably in the top 10 of all albums that came out too in the history of our species. Really, like it's up. It's that the Thriller album is up there with just the impact it did compared to like Zeppelin 4 and
Hmm.
the White Album for the Beatles or Revolver. So it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's hilarious. But congrats, man, you won. Um,
Um,
are you ready for the next international news segment?
okay, is this where it stops being fun?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
So that was the fun, folks. Just remember, Olympic athletes, they
Okay.
know how to get down.
Yeah. All right. You're going
All
down.
right.
You're getting. He's doing the. He's getting a little restless in my lap there.
Oh, tater tot.
Oh,
So,
teaser Todd. We love you.
by the way,
No.
just so you know, folks, there's three more little bulletins, and then we'll be on our way to Iran. Like Venezuela, Cuba may now be taken over by the US.
Wow.
There has been
It's like
a
Marco Rubio's master plan, isn't it?
Pretty much there has been a fuel blockade for almost 20 days. We're just putting basically tension and pressure on Cuba, and then tensions were further increased because I believe this happened earlier this week that Cuban forces killed 4 people, wounding 6 others that were on a speedboat. Yet those people on the speedboat opened fire on the Cuban forces. But don't worry, the U.S. has denied all involvement with an operation.
What, like four people in a speedboat? What is this
No,
like?
no, 10.
Okay.
4 people were killed, 6
Oh,
injured.
okay.
But
Is this
but they
like the Bay of Pigs but dumber? Like
Yes, because apparently, as reporting has been coming out, they opened up first on the Cuban forces, causing the Cuban forces patrolling the waters to engage. So we're basically now Venezuela and Cuba might be the 51st and 52nd state. Yay, oh, new territories, which is stupid. There's no point in this. There's just no point
dude,
in
like
all
the
any.
Castros aren't even in charge of that anymore.
No,
I'm looking at this who's running Cuba now? Miguel Diaz Canal Bermudez. And I'm looking at his face. He's like just some dude in a suit.
yeah,
Like, dude, he doesn't have like Fidel's Riz where he's like wearing the the cheap ass military uniform with the green baseball cap and like I am the one in charge. Um,
nope. You're right. You're correct.
what the fuck?
There's no point in any of this. But Cubans are starving and without power, and their rations are really low. And it's just, you know, to sum it up, there's just children dying in the streets. That's
Great.
just as history repeats itself. But that is still an ongoing event. Sadly to say, we'll probably find out more as the month of March goes on. Since this uh, will be on Patreon during the month of March, it basically begins our Ides of March. Number 3.
Mhm.
Pakistan and Afghanistan have been in open war for some time now, like about 5 days, I think. And the two nations have just been at the moment exchanging missile strikes, while the US, us, are backing Pakistan.
I mean, I think Pakistan is like technically an ally, but honestly, like I don't even know. Like I don't even know where to begin on that one. Like I don't know. Like who? I mean, fuck the Taliban, but it's not like Pakistan is like a beacon of freedom either. Like I don't get what the fuss is. Pakistan is nukes too, so it's just
I know.
big
I'm
power beating up on a little power. What's that?
whoa. Ice Cube, yep, Ice Cube, big bank, take little bank.
No, I was thinking of the Norm Macdonald quote. I know I'm not supposed to say this, but I think everybody in this story should die.
And he has that leprechaunish grin about him when he says this. I swear, the Norm Macdonald jokes hit more and more. Where it's like, no, I don't think you guys realize he'd be having a field day with this shit. It would not be good because
Just imagine the future where he didn't get fired from SNL and just stuck with it.
oh god, there'd be no Seth Meyers. I think he would have dominated for the whole rest of his life on daily on the what was it Weekend Update. He would never have left. He would just been
Well,
on Weekend.
well, if he went the route of Seth Meyers, he probably could have gotten his own like talk
Well,
show.
actually, remember if I remember right, I'm sorry, you brought it up. If I remember right, he had one and it got canned,
Oh,
and it was good. It was well, it's just
hmm.
the thing about him is he's just a little shit, but he's funny. Like, remember that Larry David interview when he was like talking to Larry David and he said like, "Well, there's one thing I guess I wouldn't say out loud about myself. What's that, Norm? Oh, I'm a very closeted gay man. Are you telling me you're gay? No, I didn't say that. I just said I'm a very closeted gay man. That means you're gay. No, I never said that. I said I'm a very closeted gay." And the joke went over his head. Did I say Larry David? Oh my
You
God, no.
did. You didn't even do
No.
a Larry David
Oh my
impression.
God, no. I'm
No,
talking
who's he talking to?
Larry Larry King.
Oh,
Sorry. Wow, that was
okay.
bad.
All right.
Sorry.
That
That
makes more
was
sense.
he was talking to Larry King in an interview. Sorry, my bad, folks. I got my guys mixed up. They both wear glasses. But it was just that Larry King asked him that, and he's just like, "No, I'm a closeted gay man. You're coming out to me right now?" Like, no, I never said that. I'm a very closeted gay man. Why would I come out?
Okay, since we're talking about Norm Macdonald, does this mean we're done talking about Pakistan?
Yeah,
Or is
basically
there
every
anything to add?
actually it's just open. It's just like the Cuba situation. It's just an ongoing event that's sadly happening where again children will be dying on the street. I
That
think
sounds
that's
like,
that's the
yeah,
overall theme with the rest of these news articles. By the way, of the international news segment is kids are dying on the street. That's just everything I'm about to say right now is going to end with more kids will be dying on the street.
Pakistan, Afghanistan sounds like one of those wars that Trump pretends slash thinks because he's brain dead, that he thinks, like when he talks about, I've stopped 10 wars. I've done more for peace than any other president. I've stopped conflicts between this country and that country. And at this point, you're wondering, like, I think because I'm of the belief, I don't think he can lie anymore. I think his brain is too melted, is too weak. Like he is just relying on people telling him. And that's just Stephen Miller saying, "Hey, Mr. Donald, you do know that you stopped 10 wars since you've been president." Oh, I have? Oh, okay. You make sure you mention that in your speech, Mr. President.
That's the equivalent of when I tell my mom what my son did today. Like, Thomas, do you want to tell grandma that you were able to put away all your toys and clean up? And you also got, you got the napkin out to clean up your juice spill? Yeah, grandma, I did, grandma. It's that. Um, Other news, well, kids aren't dying in the street with this one, but unfortunately, kids got touched. Former Prince Andrew's still in custody, but I haven't heard a lick of shit coming out of the fucking anything with this.
Well,
He's
he's
under
under
arrest.
investigation. Yeah. Well, he was under arrest, but he technically got
Bail?
like well, yeah, I think he got bail,
God
but
damn
he's
it.
still under investigation. It was like after 12 hours of questioning or something.
But it's still ongoing.
Yeah.
It's bullshit, unfortunately. Like these girls and boys who are on that island and just trafficking around the world need their justice for fuck's sake. This is so disgusting as a species. This is just disgusting.
Yeah.
But that's it. So that's ongoing as well. Unfortunately, no resolution with that. And then the second to last, before we get into the fun of the desert again, the Mexican cartel guy who got his head cut off. That was a fun thing to see last weekend. Just basically fucking Costco, the Costco in Guadalajara was on fire. Multiple areas across Mexico were
Yeah.
being blown to shit.
Yeah, I got let me pull up because I if we're gonna just mention this, we might as well give this guy a name. Darn, I have to disable my black. Okay, so this is from Forbes. This guy's name is he went by the name El Mencho. Nemesio Osagara?
Okay.
Osagara?
Hmm.
Yeah. I just pulled up the first thing I pulled up was like fucking Forbes. Will likely, which I guess is mostly going to talk about his money. I'm not really interested in that.
Well, he's dead, and basically, like what that movie Sicario said was, when you cut the head off a snake, everyone's grabbing for power, and it just turned everything into a battlefield. for like a
Uh,
couple days. I did hear though that one, this didn't actually do anything to the cartel. They're still operating, still money is being moved, and drugs are being moved, which made me
mhm.
think. When I was basically watching the news footage of this at the beginning, like a week ago, I thought of just that one quote from Sons of Anarchy: "Control the drugs, you control the politics."
Yep.
And Mexican federales confiscated a lot of weapons from the cartel forces that they have either captured and or killed. And 80% of those guns come from the the US of A, while 20% come from Israel. So obviously we're helping out a lot.
Again, again, I'm just thinking about how us the anarchy they were about to like import weapons from Hamas.
Yeah, yeah, that was a Henry
It's
Lynn,
like, who the
right?
fuck was Kurt Sutter talking to when he came up with that line? Like, who was telling him like, oh yeah, Hamas, the most evil thing? I'm alleging that he talked to some Israeli psychopath. Hamas is the most evil thing in the world. Yes, they probably sell guns to America. Far worse than the Russians. You should put that in your show.
Oh,
I don't know what accent I was doing there, but
Henry Lynn had the hookup. Remember that freaking
yep.
drone missile rocket launcher he had on a tripod? Jesus. Yeah, so that's what's happening there. The cartel thing again is open-ended. Kids are dying on the street, and drugs are still coming in and out of America because you can't. It's, fucking people just want drugs. Like it's just that's what it is. People just
You
want
should
to.
yeah, like if you want to depower these cartel leaders, you should just decriminalize drugs. It's that
Uh,
simple.
yeah, and if you're gonna act like they're bad, then have the balls to send in the military forces or shut the fuck up because it's nothing's changed. Nothing's gonna change with this cartel shit if you don't do the work. Oh, by the way, I think East LA is that way.
Yeah, but like, and even then, I don't even know if that would work.
That's
Like
the
sending in the
thing.
military, if we couldn't take out the fucking Taliban once and for all, like, what makes you think we're gonna stop like, really lucrative enterprises like the fucking cartels of
Oh,
Mexico?
I'll double down with you on that one. We couldn't even take out the Nazis. We didn't really win World War II. So,
Hey, no, we
yeah,
hired them.
yeah. Thank you, Walt. So with that being said, for our international fun, oddly, each one involves a lot of fucking when you think about it. Let's get down to the business that happened last night, February 27th, 10 p.m. Pacific
What a
Standard.
way to go out of the month. What a way to leave February.
Hey, thank God it's not a leap year, right? Thank God it's not a leap year.
Mm.
So we have with Israel a joint strike force, basically. We have attacked multiple sites across the country of Iran. One of them being, by the way, an all girls elementary school. I don't know if you heard about that. 40 girls are dead.
Yeah, yeah, I did hear about that.
Yeah, I don't
Uh,
know about you, but I watched the footage of them going through the rubble. A lot of backpacks.
yep,
Yep.
yep.
So, there. Oh, and Iran, obviously, within I think 2 hours, retaliated with strikes. Few U.S. military bases have been hit. Trump's hotel, who gives a shit, and one of our jets was crashed, was shot down. So yeah, one of our jets was shot down. 1.1 billion, by the way, that jet alone. Just throwing out there with the money being spent here by
Like how
tax.
much money? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
and then we found out this afternoon that that we
ah,
managed to assassinate in those strikes Ali Khamenei,
the supreme
um
leader.
the Ayatollah, which okay, I've talked about a few times on this show about Iran's oppression of its people.
Yes, you
So
have.
I hope I've made my position clear on how I feel about the Islamic regime there. I think it's awful, and yeah, it deserves to be deposed. It deserves to be overthrown. And the Iranians of Iran deserve democracy, a free Iran.
Yep.
Um, I so Ali Khamenei definitely deserved to get got. Of course, I can say that about a lot of world leaders, including certain world leaders that would probably put me on a list if I said those out loud. Um, So,
Yep. No. Yeah.
but
Yeah. No. And
he deserved to get got. Um, here's my concern. This feels like a speed run of Iraq. This is like the road to Iraq, but this time like on fucking nitrous or something. Like we're just like we didn't even bother doing the process of like, you know, spending multiple years on a propaganda campaign to convince us that, ran the next axis of evil the way we did with Saddam.
mhm.
And then
The
and then
smoking
and
gun
then getting
bullshit
congressional approval to
for
carry
good.
out strikes because we don't do that anymore.
Nope.
Congress doesn't care. Congress has abdicated that responsibility a long time ago, even though it's a constitutional responsibility. It's why we're not calling this a war.
Nope.
Um, Even though it very much is an act of war. All this stuff is act of war. You can't not call this stuff acts of war. Oh, we just call it like preemptive strikes, which is just a euphemism for we attacked. No, preemptive strikes. And we use bombs and whatever. What I think is going to happen,
Keep talking. I'm turning my light on. It's
because
like getting dark.
I really don't think Trump wants this to be a prolonged quagmire the way Iraq and Afghanistan were. We were there for 20 years, and we know Trump's not going to live that long. I think he knows he's not going to live that long. And I don't think he wants to. Because if you're going to do like a full on occupation, first of all, we won't even get to the occupation part for a while. Iran has a lot of people and they're very organized, their military forces. Like they may not have much in terms of air support, and right now apparently they don't control their own airspace like Israel
No.
does at this point, but they got people, they got bodies to throw. And I don't think they'll fall. They would, if we did like a full-on ground invasion, they would fall. It would just be costly. And then we got to occupy. And then, you know, that's a lot of money that the US is going to throw at this.
Occupy,
Uh,
set up, govern.
Furthering our debt spiral, um, more cuts to programs that benefit people. So it's like, oh, sorry, you can't get your food stamps because we gotta occupy Iran. Why are we occupying Iran? So the MIC, the military industrial complex, can sell more weapons so that the evangelicals can jerk themselves off over, Israel getting closer, the Jews getting closer to reclaiming greater Israel to bring about their end times prophecy. And, so that Israel, our friend and favorite military contractor of the Middle East, can be satisfied with their biggest rival being put out of commission. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Trump wants to do all that. I think what Trump wants is, I think as soon as he heard Khamenei was dead, he's like, okay, my work is done, right? Like he did with Maduro, Venezuela. We kidnapped Maduro, and then the same regime just installed the vice president as the new president. And then we're like, all right, that's enough with Venezuela. It's like, oh, we didn't do the thing where we brought freedom to Venezuela, where we didn't do a regime change. We just took out their head guy and then they just put another guy there. And I think that's what I think is gonna happen with Iran.
Oh, now that he's
Um,
dead, like you said, he wasn't dead before this recording. Now it's all changed. He's dead
yeah,
now.
yeah, and yeah. So I mean, I guess I can you know, rest on that feeling like, okay, this isn't going to be another thing where we're just going to send a bunch of our men and women to die um, over the course of the next decade. But if we're really doing the whole like, if you're really playing up the propaganda of like, this is an oppressive regime to its people, which is technically correct. Um, we're not going to get this is not going to be enough for the Iranian people to just suddenly rise up and let's do democracy. And even if it was, well, what if they elect somebody? Maybe that's good for them, but not friendly with us. I mean, it's not like Iranians that want freedom are like worshiping at the altar of the United States. They want us to like they still remember we we're pals with Israel. They don't like Israel that much. We are the embodiment of Western imperialism and hegemony, which is what justified the Islamic regime's power in the first place.
Well, they
Um,
remember the 80s and 90s. That's the thing. They
yeah,
remember our bullshit. And you're saying it perfectly. All right, cool. Yeah, stand up, people of Iran. Stand up. It's like doesn't mean they want us in there, dude. This
yeah.
is, it would
So
be
it's like
fucking.
even if they finally take over their own government and then do some democracy and whatever, like what happens if they choose someone that's like, we're not going to let you just exploit us for oil.
Oh,
Well, we're gonna be like, you didn't choose the right leader. We gotta go pew 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 a few more times before you guys get it.
hell, what if they become super isolationists and realize we'll shut off ourselves from the world and figure ourselves out for another 50 years? Oh, there goes all that oil. Even though, by the way, the what is that little body of water called? The Horn of Hormuz, if I'm saying it right?
The Strait of Hormuz, yeah,
Sorry, the Strait of Hormuz. It's shut down. They have
yeah.
20% of the world's oil is now off the market right now, as of now. 20% of the world's oil is off the market. So everybody get ready for those spring break prices to travel.
$5 a gallon.
Yep. Welcome to those I Am Legend prices, right? And then also too, um, it shows you also not only that it's like you don't even know how the Iranian people are going to react with this because how what their definition of freedom is compared to our governments, and I said our governments, not us.
Yeah.
Um, when all our naval ships, almost, I think from what I've heard from reports, like on even Fox News, almost 150 warships heading towards to surround Iran, soldiers were destroying the plumbing of the ships just to like retaliate and protest against this war. They were
Were
like,
they deliberately destroyed?
yes,
I see.
yes,
I heard it was just they weren't maintained properly.
no. Well,
Like,
one, they weren't maintained properly because we're cheapskates when it comes to actually looking after our military. Ralphie May and a few other comedians. No, Ralphie May and a few other comedians said that during the original USO tours of the early 2000s that we don't take care of our military at all.
hmm.
But they were also forcibly clogging them up because they just did not want to do this. Like they were literally just like breaking the plumbing system of multiple battleships and warcraft in our navy because they were like, we don't want this shit.
See, this is how you know that this administration does not truly have you know this is what makes me like feel good or feel better about like a coup, the ability of this administration to carry out a coup and then obtain absolute power. It's like no, they really do not have the military on this one. They just don't, like, they can't, like, the military is not going to do this for them. Which I
No,
think if they would have, they would have done it already.
if they had the full backing of the military, let's just say Minneapolis would not have looked like how it went. If they had the actual full backing, this would all be a different ball game of the past
Oh, it'd
year.
have been more than just Minneapolis. It'd have been like,
There you go. There you go.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
it
just
wouldn't it would not have been 500 Marines in LA. It would have been probably 50,000
yeah.
if there was a full backing. But that just shows you like no one wants to do this at the benefit of some other country who's committing a genocide. Like again, children are dying on the streets everywhere across the world because of all the bullshit that's happening at the actions of this administration.
Israel right now is like the polling in the United States is like the lowest it's ever been. I think there's been polling that shows that like when asked the question, who do you sympathize with more? And I find this question a little problematic because it's like
A setup question.
it shouldn't be an either or thing, but like in the broad, but I'm okay with the result in like the broad spirit because the result was like more Americans um support or support Palestinians over Israelis. It's
Yeah.
like, or more people sympathize with the Palestinians than Israelis, which means a lot more like the Overton window really is shifting, and a lot more of American people are like, seriously, why are we putting up with Israel? And I think like now maybe, and I don't know, maybe I was reading from a rose-colored source, but someone pointed out it's like basically the far right in Israel have been in control of that country since um, since like Yitzhak Rabin, if I pronounce that name correctly, and since Rabin was assassinated, which was like over 30 years ago. So the past 30 years ago, for the past 30 years, Israeli politics has been run by increasingly right-wing ethno-fascist lunatics. And that is like, for our generation, that's been kind of our frame of reference of what Israel is. It's like it's run by people that just want to murder Arabs for sport. That's what that country is. And the reason they keep getting in power is because the country is populated by an increasingly traumatized and re-traumatized electorate who just seen and feared too much in their lives to think straight. Hence why they keep electing more and more ethno-fascists to make them pariahs of the world. And I think like a lot of American people are just like, why are we putting up with this? Why do we allow them to do whatever the fuck they want? Um, and I think it's just going to get worse. Like heading toward the midterms, I think what you're going to see after the midterms, because we know the Democrats are going to blow the fuck out, but I also think the kind of Democrats that are going to win are not, well, most of them, a lot of them, a big contingent of them are going to be like squad types, like very left wing, very pro Palestine. You're going to see like probably the most, in an aggregate, the most
Yeah.
anti-Israel Congress in American history. And the Democrats are going to have to contend with that. The Republicans are going to have to contend with that to some degree. It's like,
Yeah. You have to.
um,
Everyone has to contend with this. Everyone has to realize that the consequences of all this BS at the behest of a group of people who just can't get over the fucking Holocaust. I'll just like, say it like that. Like, just get the fuck over it. Stop hating on these people. Figure out how to way to work together. I get it. They pray different. They look weird. We all look weird to each other. Move on. Move on. We all look weird to each other. Just move on. It's not that hard. Well, they're really extremists. Yeah, so are you, jackass.
yeah, you're no different. The difference is you're in charge.
I swear to God, the
Uh,
way things are right now in the Middle East and Mexico, I can't tell the two different. I can't tell the two apart. They're all fucking deserts with bullshit reactions happening and people dying because of us. Because we just can't stay out of it. We have two desert regions on two different hemispheres because we just can't keep our fucking heads out of noses out of other people's business and also tell people to knock it off and be cool with each other.
mhm.
Who gives a shit? Oh my God, they're Jewish. Oh my God, they're Arab. Oh, I've worked with everyone across the goddamn sun of, God's created. And guess what? Everyone's an asshole and everyone's cool. Let's just move on, get food, and do our job so we can get paid and go home.
Yeah, yeah, and it's what's going to be probably more infuriating is seeing how the Democrats respond to this. It's like, I mean, really, like if there was a time to like really go after the president on, using military power without congressional approval, like really clamping
This
down
is
on
it.
that, this is the time. And honestly, you should impeach him for that. It's been like we took out the leader of a foreign country. Actually, we've done that twice. It's just the second time we actually straight up killed him. Um, that's an act of war. That's an act of war, and it was done without congressional approval, congressional oversight.
Hell,
The
the move,
president,
yeah.
yeah, what like I don't think since like Nazi Germany has the world seen just like you know a, a country with a unitary leader with that much military power that he can
Mhm.
literally just do whatever he wants. And there's no stopgap, no like formal outline in the Constitution that is able to stop it. I mean, theoretically there should be,
There
but
has
like
to be.
Congress has just put their hands up. Um, ever since in Iraq and Afghanistan, and they really should have done this with Obama and all the drone strikes that he did. Like that should have. I think once Obama was like, yeah, let's just drone strike our enemies instead of sending ground troops. I think that was a big problem. I think that kind of opened some doors to like, you know, bending the idea of what is war versus what is just military action, or just a little combat exercise or whatever made up term that they use for this. um Yeah,
Yeah,
y-
George Carlin had a joke about that with like, over the time how our government will reword stuff just to make it sound soft language. Soft language to
yeah.
basically bullshit the American public to being okay with death and murder.
Mhm.
That's all it is. And the fact that I feel like you need congressional approval to move all those troops and ships that he did. The fact that
Yeah.
he was able to move and all that military force into the Mediterranean and the Strait of Hormuz without any congressional approval. I mean, two aircraft carriers, dozens upon dozens, and over 100 other naval vessels with God knows how many ground troops and aircraft, and nothing
Mhm.
happened. And you know one of those craft has probably a nuke on it. Wouldn't
Yeah.
surprise me.
Well, nothing happened until the markets closed.
Yeah.
And then they did a night attack. Or well,
Hmm.
here it was a night attack. But they waited till the markets closed so that the markets wouldn't
Yep.
fluctuate and go haywire over the
Well,
weekend.
they're going to haywire by Monday because of the oil. It's all money, money, income. Yeah, my mom, because I woke up a little later because I stayed up till 2 a.m. watching all this shit. Woke up at 8, went downstairs. I saw my mom watching the news, and she's like, "Did you hear what's going on?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like I stayed up till 2 watching it. She's just like, "Why is this happening?" She's like, "God, like why? Why does this have to happen? Why do people have to keep dying every fucking week and day and month over bullshit?" I'm like, "Mom, income, money.
Yeah.
The same reason why this war is a distraction over Epstein, mom." She looked at me and like, do you know that when they capped about 15 years ago, the FBI captured a sex trafficker. Nothing big. He wasn't a big time guy. Who knows if his connections were Epstein or not, but he was a sex trafficker of kids. Kidnapped him, interrogated him, try to find questions, trying to get into his head to figure out this horrible industry of black market children. And he said, the reason why we do this is because you know how many times you can sell a kilo of cocaine? Once. You know how many times you can sell a 10-year-old boy? 100 in a day. You can only sell a kilo of cocaine once a day. You can sell a 10-year-old boy 100 times in a day. It's all the money. It's income. So it's income. All this shit happening in the world is
Mhm.
income. You can make so much money off of hate and death. And that's what we need to realize as a species.
Yeah.
That, you know what? Let's take the smaller paycheck.
Or you take the bigger paycheck. It's called global trade. Get good
Oh
trade
yeah, well
relations with a
yeah.
country,
Well, you know
you
what
can
I
make
mean.
more
Like take
money, and
make
then
less. No,
nobody
I mean
fucking dies.
you know what I mean. Don't think of the short game. Think of the long game. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't need to keep doing this for military industrial complex or hey, we have an overstock from the Cold War. Let's get rid of all this ammunition so we can remake more. It's like why?
Yeah.
Why? There's
Why
no
not just
need.
smelt the weapons?
Just make
Smelt the
make a
weapons
house.
and
Make
use
a
the
house.
materials for something else.
Yeah,
God
make a
damn.
house. Make a full metal brass case house. I'd live in it. A house
Yeah.
made of brass. Fuck it. Why not? Why not just stop all
Yeah.
this crap? And also, two ways of distracting the public from, by the way, no prosecutions have been made over the Epstein files in America.
Nope.
It's been almost 30 days. Time of recording, it will be 33, I think, if I'm doing my math right in my head.
I love that you're keeping count of that, by the way.
Oh,
That
no, no, yeah,
is
yeah. I'm keeping track of that because this is BS. This is
I
so
love that. Hmm.
there's no justice or freedom in a country if you can't protect its children from being raped and prostituted and sold
Yeah.
and butchered and eaten apparently. Like the Epstein files said, people are eating babies. Yeah, this is the problem, folks. What's going on in
Yeah.
Iran, hundreds will die, maybe thousands. 40 girls already died, and you might think, well, they're just Iranian girls. It's like, no, 40 girls died, 40 babies,
Yeah.
40 little girls
Yeah.
died in one strike.
Yeah.
And
And
you know
that
why they died? They
stuff.
died because they were learning. They died because they were learning at school.
Yeah, that stuff right there, it reminds me of like the people that are celebrating the freaking sociopaths that are celebrating these strikes, um, because it'll lead to a free Iran. You know who's not going to get to experience a free Iran? It's those girls
Yep. Or their parents and their family because
or
they're
their
not going to.
parents.
You know how
Like
you.
they won't get to grow up to see like they won't get to experience like let's assume that the free Iran happens because of this, which it won't, but let's just assume they're not going to get to grow up to see that.
No.
They're not going to grow up to see like their adulthood is going to be better than their childhood.
Nope. And there are now 40 revenge plots made. Someone could literally immigrant to America and kill someone over this. I mean, being really serious, like this, you created 40 revenge plots. You've created horrible sadness. You've a horror of we're going to see over the rest of the week them pulling bodies out. That's it. That's what we're going to get. We're going to get a week's footage of bodies being pulled out the way that they were doing it in what was it back in what was that mining town in Britain when that what big landslide happened because no one was paying attention to basically their
Yeah.
equivalent
Or
of OSHA.
just or just Gaza the
Yeah,
past
Gaza
two and a
too.
half years.
That's it. We're just pulling more. We're just going to see more dead children, and maybe that's the whole takeaway from this international news episode we're doing, folks. Is what we've noticed now is that our world leaders do not give a shit about minors.
Mm. What? Yeah, yeah, and actually, I've been thinking of this with all this. I've been thinking about this story that my dad told me once when I was a boy, and this is kind of when we were getting underway with Iraq. My dad told me how, like, I think his grandfather fought was in World War One. I think one of his
Hmm.
grandfathers was. I think it would have been the right time. His dad, my grandfather, was supposed to go to D-Day until they saw that he had an engineering degree and thought, well, wait a second, we might need people to build more tanks. Let's keep him
Oh yeah,
around.
you told me this. Yeah,
So he went
yeah,
to Japan instead
yeah.
after we dropped the nukes. Um, then his older brother, shout out to my Uncle Bud. Um, Vietnam was heating up and he turned 18 and he's like, fuck this, I ain't going to no jungle. He signed up for the Navy and he served on a ship for a couple years. I think he might have seen some action, but again, he wasn't in the jungle. He was out at sea and there wasn't a lot going out there. Um, well, my dad was 7 when his older brother was shipped off. And he said, like, kind of that moment, he was thinking, it's like every man in my family has a war. Is there going to be a war for me? Now, thankfully, by the time my dad turned 18, the draft was suspended. So there
Hmm.
wasn't a war for him, really. At least there was no war for him to fight in.
Yeah, because
But,
it's all. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
what, 15 years after Vietnam was over, we're back in the Gulf for Kuwait. We're in Kuwait, the Persian Gulf War. And then there was some like little military operations here and then in the 90s. And then 2001, when I was 6 years old, yeah, we're in Afghanistan now. And then 2 years later, we're in Iraq. And for most of my life, we called this collectively the World on Terror, not War on Terror. I call it
Hmm.
the so-called War on Terror. Most of my life, the war on terror had been going on because we were in Afghanistan for 20 years. And so, there wasn't a war for me to fight in because, seeing all that unfold, I made a decision at a young age. I'm not joining. If the military can be misused this badly and keep getting this misused for bullshit conflicts, yeah, I don't want to be a part of that. So that's why I never, signed up to join. Um, And it's like, I'm not dying for a stupid war. Sorry. Uh, um, and, but it's just this idea of like, can I just go on for like, can I just have like 10 years of my life, 10 straight years where the US is not dropping bombs on some place or engaging in acts of war with other countries? Can I have that? And I feel for your boys because your boys maybe they don't they're your boys are young, thankfully, but like they might not be old enough to really understand any of this, but your boys are growing up. Your little boys are growing up to like just with this normalized idea. Oh, America's always fighting somebody.
Hmm.
We're always killing somebody out there. Like the idea of peace, doesn't will probably the idea of peace in the world will probably make even less sense to them than it makes sense to me and you. Um, and the more I think about it, the more angry and sad that makes me.
Yeah,
It's like there wasn't
yeah.
a war for me, but there was a war or two or three for me, and now there's going to be there's probably going to be a war or two or three for your boys whether or not they choose to fight in it, whether or not they're still allowed the choice to fight in it. And that makes me sad. That makes me really upset.
What makes it worse is we're past just boys because, as Pete Hegseth said last year, he said boys and girls. So your niece,
Mhm.
your niece has a war. Actually, like
Yeah.
we, everyone. It's not just you and me. It's not just my boys because they're all male with a dick between their legs. It's actually everyone's children has a war. We're past that. We're at the point of children having wars. Because you and I grew up where it was just the boys. Okay, yeah, 2001 for 20 years. At some point, it's like, yeah, when we both came to 18, it's like, is there a possibility? Do we have to go? Like, it's a thought. It was a good, it's not a
Mhm.
big thought, obviously. Thank God. It's like I chose like you. I'm like, I'm not doing this shit. I'm not gonna fight for bullshit
Mhm.
politics. I'm gonna go figure my life out. But now we're at the point where, because of the Secretary of War said, it's boys and girls. He didn't say boys like that bullshit,
No.
macho-ness of the 50s he wanted to push back of only men in the military. No, he said girls. He said
Yeah.
girls too. It's everyone.
He probably
Everyone's
didn't
children.
like having to say girls. He just probably felt like
He
it's like,
he needed to say it
okay,
because numbers. You need money. You need numbers
yeah.
for it. So everyone's children has the possibility of a war in their future because of the way the groundwork has been just this century alone with America. We had 2000, we had just the 2000s. That's it, the year 2000, Gladiator. Just the year Gladiator is all we had of peace. After that, it's been nothing but conflicts and wars and war crimes and random sad deaths and engagements. Ukraine's in its fifth war now, but actually, when you
Or
think
fifth
about it,
year of war, right?
sorry, they've
Yeah.
entered Ukraine has and Russia have entered the fifth year of their war, but technically, this has been going on since 2014. We're just killing each other as a species, killing each other as countrymen, killing each other as Catholics, as Protestants, as Muslims, as Jews. We're just everyone's just killing each other off of bullshit because our world
Mhm.
leaders want a little extra cash.
Yeah. Our world
Oh, it,
leaders and defense contractors love the opportunity to test out their new toys.
and their sons and
Mm.
daughters though will never see war. Trump ain't never
No,
going to send his boys to war. Barron's never going to see any
no,
hardship or horror in his life.
no.
Even though Trump started off by saying, "Yeah, we'll have some casualties, but that happens in war." It's like, okay, Lord Farquhar, I remember Shrek.
Yeah, I know. Like everyone was
Everyone,
making the Lord
everyone.
Farquaad joke when he said that.
Some of you
I
may
was thinking
die.
that when I heard that.
Yeah, some of you may die, but that's the sacrifice I am willing to make.
Oh God. And
That's all we are.
someone wrote that speech for him too.
Yes, this is
You
we
know.
are. If this does not tell you anything, that everyone in a position of power or income or lots of money sees us just as pawns, and what's the only thing you got is just get off the chessboard. Folks, just get off the chessboard any way you can. We are just pawns to these people. They do not care. They just see us as collateral damage for their quarterly final.
Um, yeah. Uh, I guess we'll say primary elections are coming up. And they've already started in some places. I know like early voting has been going on in Texas. Yeah.
Vote.
We need a different Congress, guys, and this is the time to do it. Really, like
Vote.
maybe we'll do a future episode where we talk about like what are some like, red flags
To look
to
for
look
in a
out
candidate.
for.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But look
Oh,
at
oh,
all of this and think about like who's going in, who wants your vote, and being like, are you going to perpetuate more of this, or are you actually going to stop this? Are you going to be the one of many voices that are going to put a stop to this? The more, the merrier.
and
You know?
I believe too that the first or second weekend of March there will be another No Kings protest. I believe,
Mm,
or general strike, basically. So
mm,
this is the time. Why wait till the midterm? Start now,
yeah.
because this will be ongoing. This will not end by Monday or by the release of this on Patreon. This will not be over. This will be ongoing because we just can't get our heads out of the fucking sand for some reason.
Mhm.
I just keep thinking of, yeah, just oil, money, oil, guns, profit, income, distractions. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's our episode. Just unfortunate stuff in the world, and with the World Cup around the corner, ooh. But we're on Patreon, so this is our first Patreon exclusive. Please go on Patreon. Travis, how much does it cost to listen to this fun episode?
$5 member, $5 a month. five
$5 a month,
dollars a
folks.
month, and you can listen to this and other exclusives. And you
We
know,
already, yeah, and
if
this we already have two on there, so this will be number three, right? Or four? Yeah,
yes,
so
three or four, yeah.
please subscribe to our Patreon, folks. Travis and I are doing everything we can to make this our careers so we can leave our other jobs and do this for a living. So we're asking you for your support. $5 a
Yep.
month to listen to exclusives, and there will now be more exclusive now every week. We plan on dropping an exclusive every week to keep it going for you, to basically value your time and money, because hey, $5 is $5. $5 is five fucking bucks. But also too, please follow and subscribe to us on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and a platform formerly known as Twitter. But for sure,
Yeah.
subscribe to our Patreon. We love you. A couple shout outs, by the way, Travis.
Hmm.
Shout out to Pow. Every time I'm on Instagram, she's the one who's always watching our stories. So shout out to you for following us like that. Thank you so much. And Travis, you specifically have a number one fan.
Oh, is it one
Yeah.
of your kids? Huh?
No, Lubert.
Bluebird.
Yep, he wanted me to let you know that he likes you the most. He really loves your voice.
Thank you,
You
Bluebird.
you,
Thank
you
you.
have yeah, you have a number one fan, Travis. Woo woo.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
uh, folks, more Patreon exclusives to come. But hold your loved ones, vote with your heart, and as Travis says, believe in something.
Yeah. Yes.
And since it's the time of Ramadan and Lent at the time of this release and recording, pray for the families of those 40 girls. That's what a real
And more to come.
more to come, but that's what a real individual of God does. Pray
Yeah.
for those who have lost in a horrific tragedy. That is us for our first real exclusive Patreon. Thank you so much for everyone who decided to take their time out of the day to listen to us and pay. I'm Tom.
I'm Travis.
This is Give Us the Launch Codes. Good afternoon, good evening, good night.
Bye, everyone.